Hi guys, today we are going to make or do the exercise that includes the sweep feature. So let's go ahead and get started with that. I'm going to click over here on the Learning Center. And once that loads, I'm going to go under here to All Self-Paced Courses, the Onshape Fundamentals, and back down here to Part Design using Part Studios. Okay, so the one we're going to do is the sweep exercise. So you're going to watch the video on the sweep, and we're going to do the sweep. Okay, so what we're basically going to make is a paperclip. So here's how it works. We're first asked to create a new document and be sure that the workspace length unit is set to millimeters. I notice some of you guys are forgetting to do that. Kind of important. So let's go back to here and create a document. And I'm going to call it sweep. Okay, so we're supposed to begin a sketch on the top plane, and this will be the path sketch. So I'm going to go to the top plane, right click, new sketch, and then I'm going to hide all the planes, hide all planes, and by the way, I did right click on any of the planes to bring up that menu, hide all planes, and then I'm going to click the N key to get a normal view. Okay, so let's see what we're supposed to do here. So the basic profile of the paperclip, you can see, consists of lines and arcs. That you notice they said you can use either 3-point or tangent arcs. I actually prefer the 3-point arcs, and I'm going to show you why, because you can actually make tangent constraints with a 3-point arc as well, and it's just more versatile. So let's go back here, and notice our first line starts at the origin. So I'm going to hit L for the line tool, start at the origin, go out a ways, click, hit A for the arc tool, start with the end point of the first line highlighted, and I'm going to go straight down, okay, and then I will click. Now watch, as I sweep this out, watch at some point, boom, the tangent constraint appears. So if you get to the right spot, and if you notice it looks like the center of the arc is directly lined up between the two endpoints, you get the tangent constraint. Well, so if you can make a tangent line with the 3-point arc, it seems like you just want to use that one all the time. Okay, so then we got to make another line, so I'm going to click L, highlight the endpoint, go out here a bit, click, and then I'm going to make another arc. So I'm going to click, go up. I don't want to go all the way up to here because it's not how a paperclip works. I'm going to click. Oh, I kind of blew it. Okay, I'm going to go back and do that again because I wasn't watching. And I do want that yellow line for the vertical constraint. All right, so I'm going to roll it out until the tangent appears. Click. Now I'm going to click L for line again, highlight the endpoint, go over here somewhere, click, A for the arc tool again, go down to about here, click, and then again, oh, I lost my other endpoint. Don't know how that happened, whatever. And I'm going to go until I get my tangent constraint. I'm going to click L for the line tool again, come out to here maybe. You know what? I can't even remember what the heck the thing looks like. I'm going to go back to okay. So we just need to stop over here. Okay, great. Yeah, I was thinking, man, I don't think there's another curve to be done, and there isn't. Okay, so I'm going to come out here. There we go. That's our basic shape. Now, coming back, we're going to add some constraints. So we want the two arcs on the left side to have a horizontal constraint between them, and we want the end point, or the starting point and the end point, to have a vertical constraint. So let's go back and do that. I'm going to click H for horizontal. I'm going to click on this one and this one. And then I need a vertical between this point and this point. So I'm going to click V for vertical. Click on the origin, click on that, and bingo, we're good. Okay, what's next? Okay, all arcs should be tangent to each line at every vertex. Okay, now that is not what we have so far, because when I created that tangent constraint using the arc tool, it only makes one of them. So if I highlight over here, you can see that only this one is, the top line is tangent to the arc. So I'm going to click T for tangent constraint, and I'm going to add a tangent to the bottom one. Here we got the same issue. And it's always where you start that gets the tangent constraint. So I've got that, so I need to add it to the top line. And then when I get to this one, looks like I'm going to need to add it to the bottom line. Okay, so now we have all the tangent constraints we want. We got that. We got that. Okay, we're happy. So let's go back to the next slide. Okay, add the dimensions shown. Okay, I'm going to actually drag this up into my second monitor so I can see those dimensions while I'm working. I'm going to hide the constraints again because they're just obnoxious to look at. Okay, I'm going to click D for dimension. This first line gets a dimension of 75. Okay, the arc gets a radius of 20. The distance between this point and this point is 25. The overall distance of this whole line is 125. This radius is 15. And now we're fully dimensioned. Okay, you know, I was actually confused when I first did this because I was like, why don't we have to add a dimension here? And the reason is because this radius defines the position of this line, right? This is tangent to this, so it has to be here. And since we put a vertical constraint between these two lines, it tells us where this is and where this is. And so therefore, the distance from this dot to this dot is the same as the distance from this dot to this dot. Since this position is defined and this position is defined, the rest of it's defined. And our vertical constraint here defines the length of that line. Okay, so I was a little confused by that, but the more I thought about it, I thought, oh, okay, I think I can figure this out, and I did. All right, I'm going to bring our instructions back down here. And it says that we need to rename the sketch path, path sketch, and then click the green checkbox. So over here, if you click on this pencil, you can change the name before you even end it. You can always do it afterwards too, and I actually am going to show you that on the next one. So there we go. Okay, now what's next? They want us to begin a new sketch on the right plane. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll come back to here. I'm going to get that isometric view like they had, zoom out a little bit, and they said they want to create a sketch on the right plane. So now I don't have to unhide the right sketch to do that. I can just hover over the word right in the default geometry list, right click, and say new sketch. Okay, and then I'm going to click N to give me the normal view. So coming back over here, they want us to make a random, well, not totally random circle, but a circle out here somewhere. There's your origin. So they don't want us to make it on the origin quite yet. And they want it to have a diameter of 5. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to get the circle tool by clicking C. And I'm just going to make a little guy here and make it 5. Okay. Now what they'd like us to do is to make those 2 points coincident. Okay. So I'm going to hit I for the coincident constraint tool. I'm going to click on the origin and that line there, and there we go. Okay, so now what they want us to do is to name that sketch profile sketch and then click the green checkbox. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to click the green checkbox first because I think it's easy to forget to do something like that, and you want to know how to get out of it, right? Well, if I want to rename this after I made it, I can just right click over here, click rename, and call it profile, proficle sketch. And there it is. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create a sweep by selecting the profile sketch as the faces and the path sketch as the sweep path. Okay, so the sweep tool right here. Click on that. It wants to know the faces and sketch regions to sweep. Okay, so that's our little guy there. And the sweep path is going to be the paperclip. So I'm going to click each segment and, hello, we're going to see our paperclip taking shape. All right, and I'm going to hit the green checkbox. And does that look like a paperclip? Yeah, it looks like a paperclip. Okay, next they want us to rename the part paperclip. Okay, I'm going to right click on part 1, rename paperclip. There we go. And the next slide says assign aluminum 1060 material to the paperclip. Okay, so we remember how to do that. I'm going to right click on the part name, assign material. This is aluminum 1060. So by the time I get to the M, I can see it. And there we go. Okay, what's the last step? Aha, mass properties. Okay, so let's go find out the mass of our paperclip. I click over here and click on the part, and it says 26.05 grams. Going back to here, next page begins self-check, 26.05. And that is correct. All right, guys, we did it. Good luck with that.